Life's a mental game. You need the right mentality to survive. What's up, family? I got a special guest on here today, man. And I say special, I got the professor on here today, man. I call him the professor. I don't care what nobody. I don't know what nobody else calls him. Man. I got a special guest. I've been waiting a long time to get my guy Dante on here, man. This is the guy. He's the professor. He teaches a class called Nobody Asked 101 and 102. You know, that advanced class. You know what I'm saying? I just got
they ain't ready for that.
Nah, they ain't ready for that one yet. No. But man, look, I'm gonna be the one learning something here today.
That's what you know, because me for about an hour.
Man, Dante I already know, man. He gonna come with that mental game that we all need to hear. We done sat here and ran it for a couple of hours before we even started shooting this podcast on health, well-being, life, and more life. But yeah, man, appreciate you coming through, bro. You know, I had to work today and I got off late, and bro still came through. He came through. He brought some goodies. Brought some goodies for us. I much appreciate. I really appreciate you coming through, man, and just rocking out with me.
If I say I'm coming, like Prime say, I'm coming.
For sure, man. For sure. He brought the Louis bags with him, the beef patties and the jerk chicken.
Jerk chicken, bro.
And had to get me. I'm gonna make sure I get some of that. I don't know. According to, you ever heard of what's that? The harmonic. Your body's harmonic. It's something to do with your.
You talking about the frequencies and the vibration of the body, or the electromagnetic field?
Nah, like the times you're supposed to eat and the times you're not supposed to eat.
Oh, okay. Yes, but I'm not okay. A little bit, because it also goes into your sleep cycle too.
Your sleep cycles and time. Yeah.
But research with nutrition and stuff, I could just like get into a tangent where I'm up 2-3 o'clock in the morning just reading shit.
Nah, cause I try to get in a way where I don't eat at a certain time. I still don't do it. I don't follow that timing thing at all. I don't.
Without knowing it, just going through trial and error.
Mm-hmm.
I know that what works for me is usually the intermittent fasting. What time I get up in the morning, which is usually 9.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I don't eat till afternoon.
Okay, so you give yourself. So when would your last meal be?
Typically 7:30 to 8 o'clock.
Okay, so that's probably so you pretty much fasting. You say you get up at 9.
Yeah.
So that's 12.
I'm always around about. So I try 14, to be like 8 to 16. Yeah. It's skewed sometimes. And if I really like to keep from snacking, I eat cucumbers.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I'm eating something after, like, man, in the workplace, everybody bringing everything.
Yeah, I remember.
You know, it's still like that because it's so stressful that, you know, I have a piece of candy. I had to break that, bro. Because like, I go home and I've worked the late shift for almost 2 decades.
Golly, man.
Almost 2 decades. I've been like on the graveyard now.
But real quick. I won't cut you off. Go ahead and introduce yourself, man. Like, let the people know who you are, what you do, how I know you.
So, I'm D Rich, and I got a podcast on Spotify. Nobody asked. He saying my government name, but my podcast is D Rich.
Yeah, so when y'all look him up, because I don't know why I had to tell my aunt because she was looking for your podcast.
Okay.
I feel like Spotify really hating on you, man, because I have to type in the whole thing.
So it's like 32 people.
Yes, man.
And I'm actually one of the higher rated ones.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I was like, okay, so when I got a boy that's in the Navy, and it shows me where in the world who's listening. So I was like, really geek. I was like, I got people in Australia and Japan listening.
Man, yeah.
And I was like, But we used to work together.
Mm-hmm.
I like to call for the Empire.
Yeah, for real.
But, you know, he got out. kind of like some Shawshank Redemption type stuff. I'm still holding it down. We ain't gonna talk about where we actually work.
Yeah. I was about to say I ain't put the name up. I'm gonna do that.
People ask me where I work, I say Stormtrooper almost 2 decades.
Man, you ain't lying, man. That's how you know what? That's how people look at us too. They come in there, be staring at us, be just like that, like at Disney World, man. You know how you walk in, you see all the stormtroopers sitting there, all gung ho ready, be like, yeah, what kind of shit we gonna get into today?
See where they ask you, do you do that? Like that was one of the things that used to always bother me because, like, literally, we look like we saying stormtroopers. We look like what we're doing,
right?
And everybody will still ask you that. That's like once I got used to it, it took me a long time to be able to wear my uniform outside. I used to throw that shit in the trunk the second I.
Yeah, I used to do that. I did that because my mom worked for some other powers that be with. Yeah. She did that, so I kind of adopted that little tidbit of information from her.
You grew up in the hood. Get your ass.
Man, look, that's why she did it. Yeah. She like, trophy on this, and say, putting this in the trunk.
Back to the podcast.
But yeah, come on with it.
Long format talk. My boy has guests on. I haven't got there yet, but I discuss any and everything that's on my mind. The show's called Nobody Asked because usually the shit I say you might not want to hear, but it's the shit you need to listen to.
Facts. Yeah. That is totally facts, man. But that's why I call him the professor, because dude is always teaching, always giving some type of, like, I mean, literally, you know what I'm saying? His latest podcast I was listening to, I posted it on my stories, and it's a podcast that I feel like everybody needs to listen to, especially the tidbit when you talked about, I know you talked about different aspects of change, but when it came to health, and I know you're big on health and big on nutrition, and we just ran off a whole bunch of things, bunch of information that he gave me, man. But go ahead, continue. I ain't gonna cut you off.
Right. Just in that same line, like the name of my podcast really came about all the women in my life. And I was that kid that talked too much. Okay. I wasn't always this big. I wasn't always, a fighter. I grew into that. I was always saying something. And, I fancy myself as a person who wanted to know things, whether they had something to do with me or not. So I remember my mama, my grandmama, and my auntie, I'd be said something. Mama, you supposed to da-da-da-da. And she'd be like, boy, nobody asked you. So I've been hearing that shit my whole life. And, I got friends, I got family, I got people that's around me that, I remember this one guy, you 300 pounds, I'm 5'7". He's like super, and, no knock on anybody who's religious. He's super Christian, one of the Osteen followers. Right?
I got you, yeah.
Happy-go-lucky dude, always positive, whatever, but he finna have some of the most unhealthy food, and he was just asking me about, like, what he could do to help himself, because if he walks for more than, like, 10 minutes, he's gonna sweat.
Right.
I mean, profusely, like he just played an NBA game. So we on break, and he comes sit down next to me, and he got this, he got a baked potato with everything on it and ribs. And I'm like,
where did he go? Where did you get that from?
Say, bruh. His wife brought it to him.
Ah, okay.
And I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the play like, number one, like, yo, I could sandwich today on the one side, but on the other side, I'm like,
nah, absolutely not.
So I talked to him for a second. And I was like, oddly enough, because I had already reached this point in my life, I actually talked to him about suicide once. And he basically told me, hey, that's a sin, right? And so we had that conversation, and I basically just like put it back to him. I say, yo, if I took my life intentionally, that's a sin. What if I took my life unintentionally through efforts that were eventually going to kill me? Mm-hmm. And he was like, well, if you knew it could kill you and you did it anyway, that's still bad. I was like, so like what you got right here? Mm-hmm. And Dante, I'm still gonna eat this. I was like,
Right.
he's like, I didn't ask you about my food, man. I was like, so yeah.
Nah, but that's something to think about though.
Yeah.
Because you don't like we oftentimes
we don't want to hold ourselves accountable on certain things.
We don't, because I mean then it's like one of those things, because we've been doing it this way for so long.
Bruh.
So it's kind of like one of them things you can't break.
Bruh. And then especially with our community and just the way we eat, the way we move, the way we live.
Mm.
One of the best analogies that I could give with that is, if you ask any one of your people if their grandmama's alive, they're going to say, hell no.
Mm-hmm.
Grandmama is grandmama.
Grandmama's gone.
Closer to God.
Well, and that's kind of a sensitive subject. Yeah, because today is actually the anniversary where I found out my grandma passed. So go ahead and say rest in peace to my nana.
Rest in peace.
So, but continue.
My step grandmother's birthday is 2 days, and that's pretty much the grandmother
that you knew.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also been May 19th. And he would be 99 today.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah. We don't think about this like.
No, we don't. I don't know, man. When you get into life and life start life.
I saw something that said something like we are now exactly far away from 2050 as we are from 1990. It's like,
no.
Yeah. This is where we are, bro. But going back to that.
Yeah. I'm just having an epiphany over here.
Yeah. You don't like it?
No, you start counting and stuff like all your fingers.
Your grandmother is held to a certain standard.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sensitive thing.
Absolutely.
Even for those who still have it. Your grandmother could be given that information to where just how we fed our children
right
40, 50, 60 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
If you fed a kid like that today,
yeah, for real.
The things that they did with us, that was just to get by, like putting us in tubs with washing detergent and stuff like that, all the different allergies and eczemas and things like that. That stuff would do so much harm. The human body is resilient, inside and out. People today, they have this belief that because my mama did it, I can do it. Your grandmama moved more. Your grandmama's quality of life was different. And when you know better, you're supposed to do it.
The quality of food was different too back then.
Facts. We didn't have no printed meat out there.
For real.
Everything was a whole food back then. You probably had a local butcher if it was good meat, or somebody down the street was, catching this and that.
Yeah, because that's the excuse I hear a lot of. It's like, man, my grandfather, he ate this for 42 years and he lived all the way to 96 and this, that, and other. Like, they had a better quality of life. Like, I remember my grandparents, even when my grandfather was in his 70s, his 80s, my grandmother too, with arthritis in both knees, they was always moving, always in the garden, always getting up and going somewhere. My grandma, literally, they had to take her battery out of her car to get her to stop moving.
Man, that's actually what did my step grandmother in, man. I keep saying step grandmother, that's my grandmother, but I have to, because I had one I never met. That was my mom's mother. She passed away. My mom was a baby. Then I had my father's mother. She had 2 strokes, and I knew her. She was in my life, but probably not as much as she wanted to be or I needed her to be. And so the grandmother that I actually clung to was my step grandmother, and she had 2, and she had one of them old school, not old school, I would say 1992 Lincolns. She used to let me bring it around after church.
I had one of those.
She had one of those, but she had 2 wrecks in like less than 4 months.
She probably did a lot of damage in that car, man.
Yeah, she totaled somebody.
Yeah, she had to.
She was fine.
They was solid. Them Lincolns are solid.
But got rid of that. And then she got a Malibu. Around that time she got that Malibu, she was still whipping. I'm talking about, this is a woman that was born in 19, I can't remember if it was 21 or 27. but in the 20s,
Mhm.
right? So she's been seeing the world reshaped a couple of times.
Yeah, more than a handful of times. Mhm.
Her philosophies and her rhetorics and just her choice of like words.
Mhm.
Like I heard her talk when I was a kid, but I didn't listen.
Right.
But some of the shit that I listened to her say when I was like a teenager or when I was at Texas Southern, and
Mhm.
I was like, I'm a young adult, she ain't cutting no words on nobody. We in church, she called the reverend back. I mean, I don't even know if you say that, you know. But I'm like,
Now you get
morning, I don't know nothing about what's going on. Church is ending. We're walking out of the main hall. The reverend's speaking to everybody. I hadn't talked to him in a long time. He's like, hey, young man, how you doing? Da, 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 da. I was like, oh, good to see you, Pastor. Da, da, da. Everybody call her Mama Evelyn or Mama Robinson.
Mhm.
He says, how you doing today? I told you to get. I'm like, yo, we're in the Lord's house, and this is how she talked. But she never liked this pastor, and she'd been going to this church way before he went there, and she didn't cut her tongue on anybody. I've always had strong women in my world,
Mhm.
so that was probably my heart right there before I even knew it, because I just gravitated to her from day one.
Mhm.
From day one.
That's crazy because
Yeah.
there wasn't no blood
It
ties
wasn't
there.
I mean, the way I was brought up and the things that I witnessed, I never believed it. But
Gotcha.
yeah. And my mom, like I said, my mom didn't have her mother died when she was a baby. So she was brought up by people who weren't her blood type,
Mhm.
weren't related to her.
I got you.
And it's like I don't pay attention to who got my last name or who got my blood. It's who do for me and who don't. You know,
Facts.
because I know people that preyed on my mother and preyed on other people that were y'all from the same gene pool.
Yeah, y'all from y'all family.
And then strangers will come out of their way to help you.
To
So
help you,
like,
yeah.
you know, I'm big on I don't listen to you,
Mhm.
look at you. And not just with that, relationships, uh, dealing with people I used to train people or how you eating with your dad or whatever. So like you can tell me,
Mhm.
yeah, I work out this many times a week or I try to make sure I have some greens, colors on my plate or whatever. But I'm looking at you.
Mhm.
Because if anybody, your children, they're gonna tell you what they think is best, what you want to hear.
Right.
But reality is always something else.
Mhm.
So we look at our grandparents and we hold them to a high esteem, and you know they had a different quality of
They
life.
did. Totally
We
different.
don't do half of that. You hear? I know you well. You work in a more male dominated environment,
Mhm.
but you remember back when you was working with us, females would be like, "I can't wait to go home and get in my bed."
Right.
You're not going to no circulation. You're not going to do something to decompress, get that stress off you. You know, you're just going to go home. We used to go hoop.
Mhm.
We used to go hoop, work out, sometimes just play Madden and somebody.
Yeah, sometimes everybody be on Call of Duty.
Bro, my wife used to get on. So I remember playing till like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
She getting up for work. You know, she was a school teacher,
Mhm.
and she just came in the doorway. You're a grown ass man. And everybody, you know, you got the headset on. Everybody in the party hears that shit. Oh, and I was like, hey, man, I'll let y'all later. He finna get his ass whipped. Man, it's my wife, man.
I gotta go tend to this real quick.
Yeah.
You hear me? Nah, man. But how was your week?
My week wasn't bad. Yesterday, I can work backwards. My youngest son is doing flag football, so they had a double game because, you know, we had the storm.
Mhm.
And, bruh, the thing about the storm is I do remember the day before the game, at least in my area, rain was torrential going sideways, but only for about 30, 45 minutes.
Oh, so it moved and got out your way.
It got out of our way, but I noticed my wife wasn't home. It was after time for her to get home, so I called her. She didn't answer. But I head up to the school because it's crazy out here, you know.
Yeah.
So I realized she didn't feel comfortable going out, but it was a parent with her daughter who locked the keys in the car. So my wife, she's going to try to help even if she's not in a position to help. And so she was there trying to, you know, figure out a solution. They waiting on AAA, da-da-da-da. So I pull up and I offer to take the parent to her house, go get her keys in the storm.
Woo!
Yeah. She couldn't find the keys. AAA hit us up, made our way back to school. I waited there I told my wife to go, take your ass home, as quickly as possible.
Right.
Yeah.
This being bad action, man. It was horrible.
I'd rather be out there in that than have her out there with my youngest son.
Sure.
So she made it home. I helped this lady out. I stayed till AAA left, and she drove out, back to her house. They don't even got a name. But
we'll say into the sunset, but that's not how. If y'all been paying attention to this week, man, this weather we done had in the Houston area.
People without power.
Yeah, still people without power to this day. And I was telling my wife earlier this week, I was like, man, it wasn't even it's not like how usually when we have a hurricane and we sit there and prepare and stuff like that, like, man, a hurricane did this. Nah, this was like some regular weather that blew through here, man. What not regular weather.
No, this is irregular.
Yeah.
Because as long as I've been here, and I'm born and raised Houston, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember no tornadoes coming to downtown Houston. They might get Montgomery, Resort, outskirts, north and the west.
Mm-hmm.
This ran through Barker Cypress, Jersey Village, jumped to downtown in the Heights, and then I think finished off on the other side or something like that. It's trees on the highway and in
man, I heard it proceeded all the way to Florida. Started in Austin.
No shit.
Yeah, started in Austin. Made its way all the way to where the winds was felt in Florida. You know how many miles that is? But they say that something like that, like a storm or a windstorm of that magnitude only happens. Like, I think the last time they said that happened maybe was like 50 years ago.
Okay.
And it's crazy.
For me, it's only this one time.
Yeah, man, look.
Because I do know the crazy thing about it is when I left the house, it was black outside. Right. When I came back, I could see the sun.
Yeah. You could kind of see it. Man, that was crazy because I had to, with my job, I was out there in it. I was out there in the mess. But I was fortunate to have little patches in between where I can get out, make my delivery, and get back in the truck before it started getting ugly again. Yeah. Power was out at our yard. So I offered to go. Well, not offer. I didn't offer, but my boss, he asked me to, because they had a crew there at night. He asked me to go run and get pizza for the guys because they was night shift. They was gonna be there all night. And while I was headed this way, I was coming from east side of Houston, coming this way towards Humboldt, man, I could see it. You could see it's like. It was almost like staring through stained glass, man. You could see the sun just sitting behind clouds.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So
it was like, man, what the? I'm like, there's got to be something bad, man. It's like it was encapsulating the sun. That's what it looked like.
And that's beautifully terrible.
Very, yeah. It's like I hate to say, I hate to agree with you right now.
I was like, because I slept. After I went and got my wife, we slept through that shit. It was the next day, the day of the game. Then I'm starting to see, hey, y'all okay? Everybody all right? I'm seeing in all the social media, and I'm like, what happened?
Man,
so I turn the news. Oh,
Cypress, Cypress got it bad, man.
Yeah, you say downtown is glass in the streets.
Downtown got it really, really bad.
You telling me we ain't got weather strength glass on our building?
We supposed to, but I mean,
but yeah, that happened. Work week was short. Good thing for me was I'm out of this brace for my back, and I'm hopeful that it's healing. Like it's just a little thing with me. Broken disc or tore a disc. I'm not sure. The weirdest shit was the doctor told me, this was 6 weeks ago. He was like, I thought I told you this 2 years ago. Nah, bro. I would remember if you said something.
We remember broken. We remember out of place.
Yeah.
Anything irregular to your spine, you don't remember that.
Yeah. Spine, it's certain things we not finna play with as a man. If you hear something wrong with your man, something wrong with your spine, something particularly might be wrong with your nervous system or your brain, you're not gonna play with them things.
No, absolutely not.
Stuff you might let slide a little bit.
Yeah.
But I remember without knowing what was going on, past the stone.
Now, see, that's one thing. That's one thing that's never happened to me, man. I remember, like, you know what? It's funny because what kept me from that was my grandmother.
Yeah.
My grandmother, like anybody that knows, any family that, all my family that watch my podcast know my grandmother used to love her Coca-Colas. She used to drink them faithfully. Really, honestly and truly, we just had a conversation kind of about it. But I don't remember seeing my grandma ever drinking water. Like, come to think about it now, I always seen her with a Coke in her hand, finishing the Coke and popping open another one. I don't remember my grandma drinking water that often.
In the 90s, I remember seeing, like I told you, me and my mama, we wasn't drinking no water, bro.
Man, that's what I'm saying.
It's like, it was Dr. Pepper. My mama is a fiend still for Dr. Pepper. My God.
She's like, Duck, who touched my Dr. Pepper?
Me? It didn't matter.
Anything other than water.
I hate to have the stereotype, but Sunkist was my number one.
Sunkist?
Yeah.
Okay.
Orange, of course, but I drink red, grape. So many stereotypes.
I thought you was gonna start. That's what I thought you was gonna say at first. Like I know it's a stereotype. I thought it was gonna be the grape off the back. Like,
it was the orange.
Oh,
like,
man. Yeah. Who loves orange soda?
Now I realize that's not a good thing. Anyway.
Yeah, because man, I'm telling you, them rabbit holes we can go down.
Swan
man. But my grandmother, man, she showed me, and my grandma was weird like that, man. In the file cabinet, she would keep shit like that.
Yeah.
Like her stones.
Oh.
And she showed, and these was decent sized stones, man. I think she had one for her and one for my grandma. No, she had two for her and one for my grandpa. And just seeing that, I was like, nah, I gotta lay off the soda.
Bruh.
I had to drink some water.
I told you, my situation was what made me 2004 made me lay off. So was I said I didn't drink water unless I was playing football. It's hot outside, drink some water.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm on a football field, drink some water.
Mm-hmm.
But it was Kool-Aid, it was soda, and god awful SeriniTee.
That SeriniTee was the shit, man.
Nah, bro, that shit is poison. We had no business drinking.
Man, I used to love SeriniTee, man. That's what my dad used to give us every morning.
Tampico.
Yeah, out. Yeah, I didn't drink Tampico till I came here. I didn't know what Tampico was, man. I was like, Tampico? Man, dude, I always thought Tampico was like flower water. Nah, for real. For real. I used to always think it was flower water with like little food coloring, little flavor.
I used to go to church. Back then, I used to go to church like 6 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
One Sunday, I had my mom's car. In the service, they would have dinner and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I had something to eat, but I remember I had a soda as soon as service was let out. And then my mom called me and was like, hey, I want you to go run and pick up a few things before you come home. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay. I grab another soda. And I jump in the car, go get what she asked me. They selling sodas out there for 25 cents. It's the Walmart brand. I'll take one. Walking around with the cart. But then I had this thing happen to me to where I just lost my peripheral vision. It just went glassy. Couldn't see. Like I'm a horse with blinders. Like I said, I remember turning down an aisle and what's going on here? It's just getting weird. Like everything looked like I'm just in awe. Took a few more steps. Everything went white. My big ass standing in the middle of an aisle, crying, slapping my face, trying to get my sight back. And the only thing I had really consumed was soda. Because the only thing I really ever consumed was soda and Kool-Aid. And at the time, 2004, I'm 19. So it got worse to where I'm seeing stark white. I can't see nothing in front of my face. And I told you the stupid shit I did. As soon as I punched myself in the face and I kind of see out of one eye, I jumped in the car, left all the groceries, jumped in the car, sped home, had a splitting migraine, had to end up in an ambulance came and got me because when I got to the house, I don't know how I parked, but I fell out of the car screaming. Ambulance came and got me. They left me on a gurney in a hallway for 3 hours. Supposed to do a CAT scan. I feel better by then because all that shit didn't pass through my
pass
system.
through, yeah.
And it may have took like 1 or 2 more times of me drinking soda and that same shit starting up. So I was like, oh, it's time to this.
Yeah.
And really, that's how I learned everything with nutrition. Just trial and error. We don't listen to our bodies. Like, you getting a certain response from fried food. You're getting a certain response from eating peanut butter, like I told you about that.
Yeah, that's man.
Everybody got triggers. It's like, it's a book that I really enjoyed. That if you go out there and do enough research, they'll say it's debunked, but how? When there's still people benefiting off this book, it's called a blood type diet. And
I've heard something about that.
Yeah.
Like, because like according to your blood type, some people were hunters.
Yeah.
And some people were the gatherers.
And some were nomads and so on and so forth. And what it suggested was like, if you're an O blood type, your blood has the ability to figure out whatever solution goes. That person has the most acid. It's not just blood. Your DNA is the nucleic acid. You have the most of it. So that's the oldest blood in the world. It originates from the motherland. And it has pretty much, bless you.
Thank you.
Every specific illness, that person's going to be fine in a couple of days. Then you have somebody like me. I'm a B. And I believe I'm B positive. And that's another thing. Speaking of blood types, most individuals don't know their blood type.
That's a fact. That is a fact. I think me and my sister, we had a whole argument about what our blood type is.
Bro, I grew up believing I was O.
Because it's I don't know, I think that's like I don't want to say the wrong word, but like the lazy, because that's the universal blood type.
No, my mama told me.
Because she's O?
Because she's O.
And that's the misconception, because my brother told me that you are whatever your mom is.
No.
But I read, there's this chart I had, I don't know where it is, it's somewhere in here somewhere, but there's this chart that tells you, well, if your one parent was this and one parent was this, then you could be this.
You're going to get one of these two things. It might be negative or positive.
Right.
This is the crazy thing. Like, so my mother only had 2 kids. She had me and she had my little sister. 10 years apart. Both of our fathers, oddly enough, were 2 different dudes. So they both have, my mom's attracted to arrogance, I guess. So they both kind of had, they ladies' men. Man, my father in the 80s is not as tall as me, but just as broad chest, just as big and everything. This man was wearing crush, velvet, blazer, ascot, skin tight jeans and cowboy boots. All this stuff is like burgundy and pink in 83. Like, what are you doing? But he pulled it off, and he's always worn flamboyant stuff, but it just worked for him. It's like their blood type.
I don't know why I just thought of
I think it's AB or something like that. It attracts O, which O and AB are supposed to be polar opposites. But if they mate, they create a B.
Hold on,
I'm B positive. My sister's B positive. That AB, something that happens with the O is you can be B positive, or I think you can be O. So me and my sister both are B positive. Both of our fathers are AB. Our mother's O. And it's like, okay, like I don't know how you did that twice, but she used to tell both of us that we was O. And I only learned different when I started giving blood. And I remember arguing with a nurse because I had been giving blood for 3 years, and she was like, "This is your name, right? Yeah, B positive." I said, "Oh, nope, that ain't me. That's you got somebody else." She was like, "Weren't you here last year?" I was like, "Yeah." And I'm not one of them people that was giving blood because I needed the money. It's one of them people giving blood because I felt like it was the right thing to do. Right. So I'm arguing with her, like, "Nah, I think you got the wrong one. I should be O positive." And she's like, "Nah, we got a chart. This is what I do for a living. Why are you arguing with me?"
She's like, "I'm gonna slap you."
So yeah,
please show me some respect.
And it was her sister. And she's like, when they hit that, baby.
Yeah.
This is your time. This is your time to stop. And I'm gonna humble you.
Yeah.
I said, nah, I'm gonna call my mom.
He was like, call your mom.
I called my mom. And I said, Mama,
You so bad.
what's my blood type? And she's like, yeah, ain't it? Wait, what you mean, ain't it? She said, shit, I don't know. I'm O, you O. I was like, come on, man. You got me out here.
Arguing with nurses. Could throw down with nurses.
We hold our parents and the people that came before us to be the know-all.
Right.
You know, that's the source. That's the oracle. That's where I came from. They're not following.
That's the unquestioned
But
opinion.
you taught me as you knew.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm over here going against a professional.
Right.
For what she sees on my chart.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wrong.
The 2 left feet.
Bruh. Which it's in my nature to just argue. I don't. It's part of the podcast.
Well, man, like you said, if mama's attracted to arrogance,
bruh.
And
definitely got it. Now my sister, she's more mild mannered.
Okay.
But I definitely got it. You know, everyone I've ever met say you kind of arrogant. You might be on the side.
Nah, but that's the thing, because I think my brother told me that exact same thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I need to find out, because
it's interesting to know, because some of the little changes that I did, taking certain things out. Men don't eat raw tomato. That just came across my mind.
What? No.
Raw tomato is not healthy for your prostate. If you're going to eat tomato products, it needs to be fully cooked. I'm not going to get into the semantics of it, but it's like, do what you want to do. I'm gonna say that, because even as you watching this, you probably like, look, I've been eating that my whole life. That's exactly what we're talking about. But, tomatoes are a mucus building food, and if you know Dr. Sebi, others, they speak against certain foods that bring
mucus in your body.
Create mucus in your body. And this particular mucus will sit on. That's one of the paths of least resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we look at how our bodies are set up, these cancers and these diseases go to the paths of least resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Mucus can move in the same pathways as fat. It'll sit on your prostate and decay the lining of your prostate. And then you got prostate cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know this. We don't know that tomatoes are high in lectins and high in mucus.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they also screw up your sinuses. Just like cheese and dairy, it screws with your sinuses.
Mm-hmm.
Pulls the mucus membrane down. It's basically like you leaving your garage door up. You're just asking for people to come in.
Mm-hmm.
So you get all these free radicals come in, and next thing you know, you got like a head cold, or you got sore throat.
Mm-hmm.
All this stuff is tied together, but we don't understand it. And really, when you get down to it, I'm saying all this to say that, like, God takes care of us, along with our parents, from 0 to about 25, 28.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, he started taking stuff back. He, she, both. He starts taking stuff back. Because now you should be wise enough to realize that eating, and I'm speaking for myself, eating 3 chili cheese dogs at 10:30 at night and then going to sleep is not a good idea.
Nah, that's not.
Yeah.
Nah. That's what I was talking about earlier with that with your body's biological clock. I think that's what it's called. Like, you're not supposed to eat in order for your body to be at a certain harmony, man.
You talking about circadian rhythm?
Yes,
okay,
yes,
okay.
yes.
Yeah, and then this is the other
I know
thing.
Dr. Sebi talked about that too.
This is the other thing with that. You're trying to force your body to do multiple jobs bad.
Mm. Yeah, facts.
And this is the back door to diabetes.
Mm.
Because you think about it, typically when you watch like something from the 50s or before, supper was at like 6, right?
Yeah.
We still don't know what the fuck supper is. But
look, so if supper is supper, what's dinner? I used to always say that all the time.
I think it was dinner in one region of the U.S. and supper in the less melanated.
I always thought it was supper on Little House in the Prairie, and it was dinner on Family Matters.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But when you're eating that late, sleep is set up to put you on your auxiliary.
Right.
Your body's
Supposed to be preparing itself. Yeah.
But now, if I'm just eating and I'm going to bed, and let's say you eating the worst thing, you eating prime rib, or you got
Rally burger.
burnt end brisket or something like that, which takes way longer to digest than most everything else.
Mm-hmm.
I done had that with some Gouda smoked mac and cheese, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna wash that down with a Coke, right? 32 ounces.
Dude.
Now I'm gonna go to sleep.
Now your body's working double time trying to process.
Your pancreas is working, your liver is working, your kidneys is working. You're supposed to be asleep. Now you're probably having weird ass dreams, which you sort of coming up out of because sugar makes you want to go, but I'm laying still. So now you secreting hormones that are telling you to do two different things. And if you do this over time and you eat like this on the regular, you're shortening your lifespan. We don't realize it. It's like, hey,
But that goes back to what you were saying earlier about doing things inadvertently that can shorten your life.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
We really do this, man. I lost friends that just lived the way they wanted to live. And then COVID hit, took some people out. One, she found out right when she wanted to start getting healthy. She wanted to get healthy. Then she found out she had breast cancer.
Man.
I mean, and they told her they caught it early and they were going to do chemo. I'm not a believer in chemo.
I'm not either. And I'm a person that, like, my mom had breast cancer.
Yeah.
And she came through it. You know what I'm saying? She survived it. She's altered her diet. She done kind of went back a little bit. I'm telling on you, Mom. I'm talking about you on the podcast.
Altering the diet.
Yeah. You gotta, but that's one of the main things that's why I wanted to bring you on, because you made so many valid points, and that's why I reposted. That your podcast on that specific topic, man, because it's like that is a real thing that we should all take serious, man, because you just don't know like how many changes you can make just by tweaking your diet just a little bit, like significant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just a little tweak.
Man,
you know
like the simplest thing, we were talking about this beforehand, just like people don't realize, I know men and women who don't eat vegetables, what the purpose of the vegetables are. And when I say what the purpose of the vegetables are, I was at a wedding, and that I mentioned that in the podcast.
Yes, you did.
Where the dude next to me was just like,
disgusted. What am I supposed to do with this?
It had a light dressing on it. He looking for collard greens, macaroni and cheese, green beans. He said, them the only greens I eat, bro. I don't eat none of it's raw, bro.
Man, ever since you said that, man, I'll be looking at greens different. My wife made me some greens, green beans the other day, and I was like, I ain't supposed to be eating this. I really ain't supposed to be eating this.
Get you some chard.
Get
you some broccoli. Get you some
that's all going. That's all going in the garden, son. That's going in the garden.
Everything in the squash family is all good because it's mostly water.
You heard that, Sam? Everything in the squash family. Sam was on the podcast talking about, I won't eat it. I won't touch it. Even if it's on the same plate, he don't fuck with squash.
Yo, while I'm mentioning that, me and my wife, we learned this through trial and error.
What you got? Come on with
it. We frequent the grocery store Sprouts.
Okay.
And Sprouts is like one step under Whole Foods. Like they might hit you in the head when you grocery shop with them, but sometimes they put new items on they'll go HEB prices for the new items to get you hooked.
Me and you gonna have to get together after the show.
Yeah.
I gotta find I'm hoping somewhere in this new developed area that they developing over here.
I think y'all supposed to get one.
I hope so.
Yeah. Sprouts is my homie, bro.
I hope so.
I'm in frequently is Sprouts and Barnes and Noble. I can't spend too much money in both of them.
Man, but they closing down Barnes and Nobles now.
They closing down. Half price books. Yeah. I know they was
cleaning them out.
What? They closed? The Barnes and Nobles by me, I got one right there on Champion.
I don't know how I get them confused.
It's the same shit. You remember the third one, Borders?
No, I don't remember that one at all.
I was a bookhead. Like my mama would go shopping in the mall, and I ain't want to be in no Lane Bryant, no Victoria's Secrets when I was a kid. I mean, I had known better, maybe I would have thought differently. But
I live.
I ain't got no time for that. So
My little badasses was in Spencer's, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Man, I walked in Spencer's the other day, Mother's Day. I told you about Mother's Day.
Yeah.
And my sons, they said, "Hey, can we come with you? We don't want to go with mom and my wife." And I was like, "Yeah, come on." So I'm walking in Spencer's, and the person in there said, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I was like, "What?" And my sister came running across the house. She said, "Dante, you can't take this."
Spencer's done turned up in these years, man. Yeah.
When I was getting ready for a different wedding, they told me, "I'm back in about 30 minutes to Taylor's at lunch." So
Yeah.
I'm walking around and I walk in Spencer's, and this is the middle of the fucking day. There was 3 high school girls. One had a Letterman jacket on. They trying to see if they got enough money to all get a sex toy. So one of them was like, "I got $17. Well, I got 23, and I got 30. So we should all be able to get the purple one if we." And I'm like, I'm just walking by because I'm looking at. I'm like, yo, y'all hard. One of them got on a Woodlands High School Letterman jacket, and you in here trying to buy a sex toy. And I'm like,
y'all out here, look, pause. Y'all out here sharing sex toys. Y'all nasty. I was about to say, I thought they was going in on one. I said, boy, y'all some nasty mother.
I guess that beats all. The safe sex. They're not out here with no randoms.
My God.
I got partners who
They got them a bob.
I listened to y'all about being girl days. That's beautiful. On the way here when I went to the booth, my man had his daughter. She was asleep on his shoulder. He was right behind me. I was like, they actually coordinated. He had on some chucks and a jean outfit. And she had on the same thing, but her chucks had glitter on her. I was like, she couldn't have been more than one. I was like, that's beautiful.
Shout out to the girl dads out there.
Shout out to the girl dads. I'm not one of y'all. I got 2 knucklehead boys and everything. I envy you, but at the same time, I don't. I know if I had a daughter, that would be my.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. She is. That would be my greatest pupil, right?
Man, I'm telling you.
Yeah. But
she is.
At the same time, it's like all the possibilities. Since my wife was always, we had 2 male dogs. Mm-hmm. We had 2 sons, and then me. She always felt like I'm outnumbered. I know what you're saying. She's like, my mom been wishing a daughter on us for years. And my wife was on board for a while, and I was like, okay, let me help you out real quick. You think you want a daughter? She gonna look like you and act like me. And nope.
That's them dead. Girls be like that, man. I'm telling you.
Look, one of my coworkers told me one time, men lie something like an hour after they're born. And I was like, I'm quick. And I said, so women must be born lies, huh? And she's like, okay. She's like, that's pretty good. And I was like, but there's some truth to that because I got nieces and whatnot. Look, girls are expensive.
Yeah, they are.
Boys are stupid.
Yeah, mine get me, man.
Boys are stupid.
They just come over there. Uncle JJ, can you do them like?
I used to keep my little sisters. They'd be part of whatever went on, but they come run and tell it. My brother, the one I was talking to you about, when they was little, I used to keep them in this fool, mesmerized by the candle. Some kind of way, something told him take the curtain and touch the candle, touch the flame. He got fire running up the damn thing. Guess who told him to do it?
Your sister.
The one that came and got me. I'm like, okay, but you listen to it, bro. So you gotta hold that in.
There's something mesmerized. I know it mesmerized you.
And I noticed that like little boys easily get entranced with different things. Fire is one of them. Mm-hmm. You can kind of. Girls aren't a problem when they that age. They gonna talk. Like one of the coaches that I work with, we coach the kids. His daughter, that is a grown woman in a 5-year-old.
Oh yeah,
she's a grown woman. She come and tell you exactly what you need to know. I don't care y'all throwing footballs and do this. It's hot out here. It's time to go. You done talking to him? Them kids, you need to go. Yes, ma'am. We almost done. We coming. But them boys, they can't lie. Breaking stuff upstairs, it failed.
They don't match with logic, man. What you trying to tell me right now?
Well, no, I was in the bedroom and and it happened. And then I came out because I heard the noise just like you. So I hear doom, 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 doom. Yeah, man. I know if I had a girl, I'd be in trouble.
Man,
I also know that'd be like my greatest fuel. Though. Women are quicker than us.
yeah,
Man.
yeah, they are. They are, man. And she is, man. She picks up a lot of stuff, like very, very quickly, man. It's you got to be careful with some of the stuff you do around us. I mean, she's on it. You know what I mean? And that's like, it's like a blessing. It's a blessing and a curse. So that's why we got to make sure you always doing what you're supposed to.
Yeah, and be the example.
And I know Sam, like, Sam, I tell him all the time because, he's just starting in his girl dadhood, even though he's not really a girl dad, but, we count him because of the distance between. You know what I'm saying? They say when you, how can I say it? This is a lady that told me this. When you got, I think, 5 years in between your kids, it's technically like you starting over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, he has a 14-year-old, and then he had another one. So technically,
that's what my mama
he's starting
did.
over. So he's a girl dad.
Yeah.
But I tell him all the time, you don't know what you done got yourself into. So them girls is different, man. Even the simplest things is hearing them cry in the middle of the night, man.
Yeah.
It's different. You know what I'm saying? You gonna let that boy cry. You ain't gonna let that girl cry. Even I let mine cry. Even she didn't, man.
Within reason.
Yeah, within reason.
Yeah.
She didn't cry a whole lot. She was like, as far as an experience having a kid, like, I got a whole multitude of nieces and nephews. Like, she was a good experience. Okay. You know what I'm saying? As far as like listening, we had some hiccups as she got older, but that's warranted because she's coming into being a woman, a teenager.
You're gonna have a little attitude.
Yeah, you're gonna have a little, big, whatever. So, exactly. Exactly, absolutely. But as far as like, when Kobe, I heard Kobe said, like, girls are the best.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, they hip to it. They listen. They understand.
Let's talk about girls be the one to take care of you. Shit,
man, son, look at
I got 2 sons.
You gonna have to lynch the wheel against. You gonna have to leverage the wheel against them. Take you out my wheel.
This the other reason I'm staying on my nutrition because I know.
Man, son, you ain't lying. You ain't lying.
We find these nice.
Hey, man. Why? But I just look at how my child, like, how she loves on her parents now. And she's so loving. You ask her to do something, she does it. And I remember me at that age, I gave my mama and my daddy so much pushback and this, that, and other. She's like, not
14?
Yeah. And I'm like, if she does it, I'm like, we gonna be in good hands, man. When we get old, we gonna be well taken care of.
I mean, compared to how I was, my sons are excellent.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
You talking about you giving all this flack on boys, man? Shoot, that's good.
Compared to because I gave my mama grief. Like, it's never disrespectful to my mother. Number one, my mom is 5'11". At the time, she was probably like 270. Her big sister, who was 17, 18 years older than her, was probably 5'11", almost 6'1", about 6.
You got some more in your blood.
Actually, all these people be like, we got this.
Yeah.
I can actually show you. Like, going back, we were kept by them too. You know, so we don't claim it as a badge of honor. But Richardson, you had Richardson plantations with Louisiana. You had Richardson plantations in the Carolinas. You had displaced slaves that got bought by different natives, and even after 1865, 1867, for here, natives didn't recognize it. So hey, blah, blah, blah. We got different rules here to where still today. The sad thing with the native thing, and part of the reason where we don't really claim such, is they've gone back to like tribal rights. You don't get them if you're a certain skin tone. You got to prove where your grandfather's grandfather came from, and you got to basically pass the back there. So it's like you got people who live on reservations that look like me, and me and my mom both had jet black hair. I used to get so much flack in my hair. It's like, you got a perm. Why your hair look like that? I started cutting my hair against the grain in the 9th grade.
Mm-hmm.
I fought all the time between sixth grade and 10th grade just because the way I talk now is how I talk in the hood.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I dress like a Cosby kid, I guess. That's what I heard a lot,
What is that? What's that supposed to be?
It was like, when I grew up, it was like a hood uniform. If you ain't have Dickies, Jabot, Jordans, that type of shit, it was gonna be a thing.
Yeah.
I was a kid, like, what you saw on Nickelodeon.
I got you. Princess. Like the light colored jeans, the
plaid shirt,
yeah. I got you. Okay. Nah, I'm on board now. I got you, man.
My wife checking on me.
Okay. He's okay. He's all right. He's on the podcast. If she watching the podcast, he's okay. He's all right.
Nah, it was shit. It didn't have like like I said, a disrespect or anything with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were a male, I don't give a fuck about a male. At the same time. And then at school, when my sister was born, I was expelled. I was 2 weeks from drop kicking my principal, who was a female.
Mm-hmm.
It was not intentional, but that happened. I broke somebody's leg because we did this WWF.
Yeah, I remember those days. We were flipping all couches. I think every boy between
facts. And you know what? I can't even watch that shit.
I'm not gonna lie. I picked up on it recently because of the changes that was happening when they brought the Rock back. Man, I was all in. You know what I'm saying? I was in when they brought when they started with the Roman Reigns and the head of the table thing. That's kind of when I kind of like, okay, I would, jump in and out.
Yeah.
When they brought Cody Rhodes, when they brought him back, and then I was even more than back and forth.
Yeah.
When they brought The Rock in, I was like, oh, I'm all in now. I was like, he got something to do with it.
Well, you sound just like Tony Baker when you say,
man, I'm all in, man. That's one of my favorite comedians. Have
you seen him live?
Yes. Not. Okay, I'm waiting for him to come to Houston so I can catch one of his live shows.
Oh.
But I have seen his stand-up.
Okay.
And
we went last year, and we sat next to the stage. I almost died.
Man, I'm telling you, that dude is crazy, man.
I went and saw Griffin. That was on my bucket list.
Oh my gosh, I need to see him.
I can see, Mark Curry, different people. Tony Baker had me struggling to breathe in between, and it's like, this is what they say: it's killing, literally killing. Like, because he's not just telling you, he modulates his voice, and then he looks at you, and he does, and like I said, we sitting by the table, and he's just like, bro, go over there. I can't breathe. He was killing, bro. Like that, he is.
As of right now, he's my favorite comedian.
I like his podcast.
Mm-hmm.
All Brothers is okay, but Verbal Cardio
is it, man. Nah, that's what I'm not gonna lie. Tony Baker is like he's the one that kind of gave me the confidence and the idea to do a podcast because I realized what he was doing through his podcast, and I've been following him for a while, ever since before he started doing this podcast. I've been watching YouTube videos, all deaf and
the voiceovers.
Man, the voiceovers. That's when I first discovered Tony Baker, man. When dude is just too funny, man. He's like, hit him with the skibbity paps. That dude is.
I don't think a week goes by that word don't get used in my house.
Skibbity paps, man. Look, I say that at work, like, catch these calls, man. Like, catch these skibbity paps. They used to have a dude that used to work at my job. Well, he still works there. He's just in another department. He dispatches for somewhere else, and he be like he used to always tell somebody every time they start messing with him, put these skibbity paps on you. And we started. I remember when I first heard that, I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, the skibbity paps. And he showed me that.
Quick as a cat ain't no joke. Though.
Blinding speed, man.
Blinding speed. Slap the shit out of a snake before it strikes.
Like, what? And it's crazy because they slow-mode that down. I remember. I'm like,
what the? Yeah.
Nah, but man, Nah, but Tony Baker, man, that's my favorite comedian
I'm
right
giving
now.
my money again. And you know what was crazy? I saw Marlon Wayne.
Yeah.
It was between him and Dave Chappelle was here at the same time, but Dave Chappelle's tickets was ridiculous.
Mm.
Come to find out, we was trying to buy them. It's like $60.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So Marlon's took a pay too. I took my god brother and his wife. It was kind of like a gift to them, their engagement party or whatever.
Okay.
So we took them with us, and probably barely, I don't know, 250, 300, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was worth it, you know. Homeboy told a story. He talked shit. He got real. He got deep. I didn't know he had all that in him, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And
Pause. And I got you got stand man. I got you got
with especially with the deep. I'll be on point.
Man, Sam, look, man, this is like an ongoing game.
Oh no,
Real quick.
my kids.
They hit you with the pause? Oh
I'm
man.
monsters.
I think I did. Between my nephew and my daughter, with the pause, it was like, pause. Hey, like, and my little nieces and nephews, my brother who stays up the way, they'll hit you with the, hey, yo, hey, hey, man, kiss your mama with that mouth, son.
Nah, they ain't got that
You
one.
ain't got that for you?
It's the pause. Some of the teammates and whatnot. The little kid with the mullet. He the one talking about his blicky.
What?
And then the other one, Fast. Every girl that passed by, get out. Boy, chill out. And yo, they fifth graders. Why your tongue out your mouth doing that? Like, I'm like, bro, y'all. I had to pull one to the side. Say, bro, no, don't do that. Hey, you out here making gestures. And my wife is actually a teacher. I was like, that's gonna get you caught up. If you did that same shit in class, I know it's a rap.
Mm-hmm.
And especially in the demographic where you at, you not favored. I'm not even gonna get into it. That school shit is stressful. She trying to get me to be a teacher at one point. You know, you look at the transition and do something else, and I want to coach. I ain't say I want to teach.
Yeah, for real. And now it's like a requirement now. Because I wanted to coach real bad, but I remember when my coach told me, and shame on him because he never followed up with me about that. Because I really, really wanted to get into coaching. Like after high school, when I found out I wasn't gonna be able to play at the next level because of injuries and stuff like that. I really wanted to coach.
Yeah.
And I was like, but I don't want. I see these kids. I'm like, I don't want to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Some of these fools out here.
Bruh, I remember volunteer coaching. And this was in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And one of these kids, like they all had to pay for their jerseys to be part of this 7-on-7. One boy pulled out a knot, had to easily be $1,200, $1,400. You a junior. You came around that kind of role? I was like, bruh.
What am I doing wrong, son? Oh, I know what he's doing. I know what he's doing, but I was just trying to keep BG for the back.
Yeah. I remember he had like a bad day at work one day. He was like, bro, sometimes I just wish I sold. Like, it was really one of them moments where he's just like, sometimes I just, wish I sold.
It'd be like that.
They had to deal with all these bureaucratical rules. Now we doing this. This the new policy.
This the play we running today.
Yeah, this was actually fired 2 weeks ago. Now it's standard practice. Like, come on, bro.
Running stuff on you on purpose. Like,
you got this person. This is my problem.
Mm.
You got this person who's your superior, who probably needs mental help training, just to deal with their day-to-day life. If they didn't have this job, they wouldn't be able to function. And this person is over you, and you know it's something wrong with them.
Man, I just had a thought that went through my mind. I was like, they didn't promote her, did she? Did they?
Probably. I don't know who it is you're thinking of.
You know who I'm talking about.
We had to talk about
yeah,
that
for real.
later.
Off podcast.
Yeah.
Go ahead, we're gonna revisit that one.
Don't want to have
but it's like that in a lot of workplaces, man.
Yeah.
You got a lot of people like how can I say this without getting in trouble? Now you got a lot of people that be like they get drunk off of power. And it's not even that much power. Because at the end of the day, they answer to somebody too. So you're not really that powerful.
Just of all doing what we did, you had people that might have been their best job ever. And they just became Rick James.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
one of the best of all time, you know, just doing the most when it's not, I mean, let me not say it's not that serious. Just it is. But how people go about taking that status or that title and moving through stuff, like you looking down on people because they might work, let's say janitorial or customer service or some stuff. You're not above them. You might be ahead of them in pay. You know, some people just they go too far with it. And we got it. I feel like with us, and I say feel, that's something I always hate to say, but the reality is sometimes you don't have all the facts, so all you can do is to that promotion is intentional to kind of sow discourse amongst the ranks to where you so busy focusing on that person, you're not focusing on the head.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And usually that person, no, they ain't got no business doing that job.
Man.
But they so grateful for getting it, they will do whatever the head tell them to do.
Yep.
And this person, like, they promoted the motherfucker who was asleep in front of everybody that couldn't find his car.
What's that? They be
mispronouncing words and shit on the, like, okay, I'm doing something wrong. Like my boy said, bro, I should have just sold dope.
It's like hit him with the. You know what? I got that from.
No, go ahead. I remember it, but
NFL Street. You hit that.
Okay, damn, you went.
Yeah. NFL Street. Every time you go back. Nah, man, not. But it's like that. It's, and I see a lot of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I go to these different plants and stuff like that, and they tell me about it all the time, man. It's like, and I see it. You know what I'm saying? I see it where I'm at. Like, you know, we have this guy where we work at, and it's I'll just tell my thought process. I ain't even gonna rag on them. Me in a position of power, I'm gonna embrace my team. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if I'm the manager and they're doing the work, I need them.
You do.
To do their job.
And I feel like a lot of these superiors don't understand that. Like in certain jobs, if you're the supervisor, and it's basically like being a coach of a team. What they do with the coach, it's Doc Rivers. They try and see if is he gonna be back with the Bucks next year? Doubtful. Because you got all this talent.
Did they make the playoffs? I haven't been watching basketball. Let me put that disclaimer out there.
I haven't been paying attention to it, but I will catch a game here and there. I know the Knicks just got bounced by the Pacers. Yeah, it was a good series.
Really?
7, yeah. But I can't tell you what happened in the West right now. You know, like I said, I was lukewarm, and I don't usually watch basketball till around.
Yeah, I don't watch it till like the Final Four. Yeah. That's when I start really paying attention. When it's really in the conference finals, that's when I start like I'm locked in.
What's your take on this whole thing with Caitlin Clark?
I haven't been paying attention to it, man. Sam talk about me all the time, man. I'm just like, when it comes to a lot of the, how can I say it, man? It's like I'd be so busy and so intrigued, but I'd be so intrigued by other stuff that I have going on. Like, so I'm like, I don't be trying to. It's not that. How can I say it, man? It's, well, you said it the best, man. I be in my own world. Like I be worried about that child. I be worried about, you know what I'm saying, right now, like, you know what I'm saying, like we were talking about earlier, I'm building this pop-up shop, getting it perfect and going. And, you know what I'm saying, this podcast, growing the podcast. You know what I'm saying, I'm in the bike club, I'm you know, navigating that.
Yeah.
Work, you know, that's something in itself. You know what I'm saying? I'm all around Houston, Louisiana. Yeah.
Make it through the day at work.
Man, I think that's why I as sane as I've been lately, because I'm not worried about the world and I'm blocking out all that noise.
And to a point, you can't, because like I remember seeing something maybe a year maybe a little bit more than a year ago. It's like this is the most screwed up time because in the age of information, the kids younger than us, I want to say like you had teen and preteen suicide went through the roof.
Yes, it did.
And all these kids are worried about the environment, the politics, and everything that's going on.
Image
and the people that are our age, we playing the games and doing drugs. We're jaded, disenchanted with reality, and these kids are stressing out so bad that they don't even understand what's the purpose of being here and what are they inheriting because there's nothing to look forward to from that limited scope of what's going on. So it's like, why would I want to get a 9 to 5 when I see like one of the realest things my sister ever said, and I feel like my sister's very immature. She's 26. But she has shocked the shit out of me lately. Like she's coming into her own, and like I've said on my podcast, I believe we babies up until about 28. Like you just became a teenager and start understanding how to resolve stuff without your support system. It's like I am 8 days away from being 39, and like I mentioned, Malcolm X was 99 today. It's like it's all relative in a sense. She told me years ago. I said, "Hey, you know you're gonna have to grow up one day." She said, "I don't think I want to grow up." My sister told me at about maybe 8 or 9 years old. Why you don't want to grow up? She said, "Well, mom's a grown up. She's always angry." I said, "What you mean?" She said, "She goes to work, she comes home angry. You grew up, now you're angry." Shit. The observation you can't argue. That's not all it is. But this is the resting like things that you're not thinking about. It's like, no, that one time I was this and that, but by and large, this is what I see for you because that action is allowed us. Not when you're in a good mood. How often you're in a bad mood. How often you complain about work. Like y'all said it like kids are watching and they're paying attention to you. Like especially girls, like they picking up everything. Boy can be in his own world. And my sister to a point was in her own world. But she said that and now she's adjusting to where she's working the same job as my mom and she's navigating through that and there's some other things that, you know, are still yet to surface. But it's like my mommy say, hey, let her stay in her own world as long as she need to because the reality, you know what it is. Yeah. And it's protected her all this time. Myself aspiring to write, that's how I make it through the day. I might see 2 or 3 different realities. And I remember I had a supervisor was talking about whatever. I realized it was shit I already knew. And I'm staring past. I'm staring into the ether. And I was like, that will work in my mind. He assumed I was laughing at him. He said, hey, what are you chuckling about? I said, go ahead, bro. I'm in my head. No, you need to tell me what you're chuckling about, what you find so funny. And I was like, hey, don't do that. Hey, going on with your breathing because you pull me back to this, then I'm gonna pull you into something else, and we're gonna be in an altercation. It's like you have to have that. And a lot of people they don't know how to articulate, especially males. Like I remember Eddie Griffin said it years ago. Men only have so many words, and they get beat down, and they using their words. By the end of the day, you ain't got no words to say. So you ready to fight. And more and more, I see grown ass men who their personal space or their safe space in their own world is just silence.
That's sad. Ooh, that's sad. Yeah.
I can't get out what I need to because I don't even know how to tell you this, and I don't want to look vulnerable, and I don't want to have to be in a confrontation because I'm not sure I can even win the confrontation. And subsequently, this is why you got, 28 males per day or something like that?
It's higher than that now.
It's higher than that. I remember I saw the military one on the back of the truck. I didn't know what it meant. I was like, what does that mean? And one of my boys, he's ex-Marine, he's like, just straight away just said it. I was like,
22.
Yes, yeah. And I was like, wait, how frequent is that?
Every day.
Every day. And I was like,
now add that total to the male total.
Yeah. crazy, bro. And it's because you don't necessarily know how to talk,
Mm.
and then you don't want to talk, and then if you want to talk, who do I take this shit to that's going to actually be able to take me seriously or look at me the way I feel like I ought to be looked at? Because, like, whatever trauma and stuff you go through, we segue hard, but whatever trauma and stuff you go through, typically, not that it's right, we want to talk to someone that we feel like can relate, resonate with that.
Facts.
You don't want to talk to a person that you feel like if you've been in the military and you went through Desert Storm or Iraq or whatever, if you went through those type of things, you don't want to talk to somebody who
Never experienced anything like that. Yeah.
Those people, as somebody told me, trained to help ask questions to help you work through your situation if you give them a chance. But it's like from where you are, you don't know how to articulate that to them or to yourself. This is sadly it's the same thing with some of the traditional things, with how we are with our spouses or relationships. Oddly enough, I think a lot of the things that men find themselves in these situations with women, not the Diddies of the world, but they find themselves in these situations with women because one, you try and live up to the expectation that you probably had no intentions of, yet you weren't man enough to come out say anything. And then two, you thought saying no was going to work against you.
Right.
That's a big one.
Yeah, that's like yeah.
Yeah. So now you get trapped in a situation to where you letting somebody dump on you over and over again, so you can't take it no more. You don't know how to. I don't know how to handle this. I don't know how to talk to them. Men older than me have talked to me about this. I don't know how to talk to them about this. What? Are you serious? But then I realized, like I said, I grew up around strong women. So I was always talking to women. Like I said, I had to learn respect for males. That's a whole other story or whatever. But it was like, it came natural for me to always talk with women. Having that allowed me to articulate what's going on in here, even though a lot of the time I was telling it to the wrong people. Because if I tried to tell my friends what I was thinking, it was like, yo, nah. I don't. It's too,
Are you trying to take me out?
it's like, Rich, nah, man. And I mean, to a point to where a couple of my boys used to partake in the what they call it, the herb, you know.
Yeah.
And I was down bad. I think I hadn't been working for maybe 9 to 10 months or something like that. I quit a job because they wouldn't let me be off on my birthday, even, and they were still in my what do you call it when you get paid for sales?
Your commission.
Commission.
Okay.
Yeah, they were still in my commission. So I quit this job. Mama about to put me out, and just a lot of shit going on. And my boys were like, "Hey, we're gonna run around the corner."
Right.
Whenever they say that, they finna go blaze one. So I say, "Hey man, I'm gonna come with y'all." Both of them stopped in their tracks. Hey bro, nah, you straight. I was like,
what that mean?
I can't come. They say, you hear the shit that come out of your mouth and you don't get high? We're not finna be responsible for that. They don't talk though. So, like, one of my boys, I'm not gonna put none of his business out there, but it's just like he'd rather isolate him.
And that's real common, man. Because I'm one of those people.
We know something bad when he just go missing.
Yeah.
And if once he figured it out, celebrate. He come around. He's the most jovial person in the room. But you'll know something is up. When the last time you heard from him? Shit, been about 6 weeks. Or I talked to his mom since yeah. And then once he feel like he got a handle on it or he can deal, then he'll come around. And it's a lot of dudes that's like that to where it's just like, I don't know how to get that out. It's a lost art. I think like males don't understand that you have a feminine energy too. And communication is a feminine energy. You know what I'm saying? You need to be able to do this beyond stop. I want to buy that or whatever. You need to just have a conversation, but conversations in general are becoming a lost art. Like we do podcasts and it's an oversaturated environment. But by and large, people watch videos of people talking to
Right.
know how to talk to each other.
Right. That's crazy. Ooh,
It's
yeah,
fucking
man.
crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, it's kind of not because it's like it's because I'm relating that to everything across the board, man. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like nowadays you got kids that watch other kids play with toys and so on and so
Yes.
forth, man. It's like
Yes. My son was doing that in class.
yeah,
And the teacher like told us exactly what he was watching because he was
Mhm.
doing it on the laptop. And I was like, for real, bro?
no, it's a thing. It is a
It's
thing. It's a I don't know that, but that's the thing I can closely relate that to, and that's crazy because I never thought of it like that. I don't know, it's I guess men have been ridiculed so much about what they say. Yeah, I mean, it's
but
a
this
societal.
has been going on since
Yeah.
way before us. You know,
Uh-huh.
you probably had that granddaddy figure, or if your uncle or whatever, that kind of like just sat out on the porch
Yep.
or in the backyard or
Yep.
whatever, and kind of stayed to himself.
Mhm.
When I first got married, I would ask every old head, white, black, Hispanic, for advice
Mhm.
if they had a functioning marriage. But the way I operate now, I don't care if you had a functioning marriage or not. I've learned some of the best lessons from people who consider themselves losers. For example, if you playing basketball,
Mhm.
you want to learn from Michael Jordan, who is the ultimate winner, or you want to learn from somebody who ain't never won shit, but they both played the same amount of time.
I mean, I would think you would want to learn from Michael Jordan.
The
right?
obvious answer
That's the obvious answer.
is Michael Jordan,
Uh-huh.
except for a winner of that magnitude can't necessarily tell you how to do what he did. That's just his natural will.
Right.
And that's the Most High's favor.
Mhm.
You could do everything he did and not have the same results.
Right.
A lot of, astrology is an interesting thing.
Mhm.
I even hesitate to go into that because, like, even as I can be a cynic in some regards.
Mhm.
So I don't pattern my life with that at the forefront. I'm not people like I act like this because I'm a Gemini.
I got it.
Yeah, but more on the recipe side of things, to where like it's a certain magnetic pull and a certain degree that the sun is sitting at when each one of us is born. Your mama ate this, your daddy ate that. Like the frequencies that's going on
Mhm.
that made you.
Mhm.
We can't recreate that. If I try to step in the space of JJ, I'm a struggle.
Mhm.
I try and do everything you do. I'm a struggle. But with that winner don't know how to teach. They just win.
I got you.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
got you. You just knows how to perform.
Yes, but that loser has probably seen more ways to fail. It's like, I did this.
Is that why we see a lot of losers as coaches
Yes.
and teachers, so on and so forth?
They got to observe the winner
Mhm.
and they got to realize their shortcomings.
Mhm.
So it's something about
That's crazy.
it really is.
Yeah.
It really is. You think about Steve Kerr, who barely got in the game, or
Right.
Tyronn Lue, who was a situational player.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't have a lot of stars wanting to be coaches because
They can't.
They can't.
The only one we seen so thus far is Prime, right?
Prime. And I mean, my mama was just on him bad. Like, she's like, he's too arrogant. I was like, really? Really?
Is it arrogance or is it confidence?
It's both. And the thing about it is, like I said, I've been told by numerous people pretty much in any room I'm in, it's gonna come up to where they get our confidence. And I say, when you think about Muhammad Ali, his arrogance fueled his confidence because you gotta be an arrogant motherfucker to say you the best of all time, the greatest of all time, before you get in the ring with anybody. But he just wrote a check that he wants to make sure he holds himself accountable for cash. You need that to do a job like that. You need that to be a T.O. to be a Michael Jordan. But T.O. ain't coaching nowhere.
Nah. Michael Jordan ain't coaching. And his sons, his legitimate sons.
Jimmy Butler.
Man, it's hard to deny on what's his name, dude? It was like,
nice.
It was hard to deny on them. I sit there, when they did the side by side picture, that was it for me. I was like, I don't know, man. They say the proof. Who's out here putting proof in pudding?
They was talking about the same thing with Lamar Jackson and Samuel Jackson.
No, hey.
And have you seen Samuel in person?
Yeah.
That motherfucker tall.
Yeah, he is. I seen him. I seen him in New Orleans. This was a long time ago, but everybody was tall to me back then. You know what I'm saying? Back then, everybody was tall to me, man. I was 15 years old.
My mom was saying like she was getting like I feel like he's killing his son. I was like, I don't know. I feel like I could make an argument.
Mm-hmm.
I can make an argument that he could be because this is me. If I'm making that argument, he's only played for you. He hasn't ever known an environment where you aren't right there.
Right.
So, and then she was making these comments about because his dad only wants to play for certain teams. I understand that because if I made it to the league, I'd play in Buffalo.
Well, nobody's talking about the Mannings.
That's what I brought up. So it's like, yeah. And she said, but he not Archie. I say, what's the point? He understands the business.
Mm-hmm.
And those contracts are designed to where you're going to be holding your ass in your hand at the end of like, oh, you hear $350 million and 168 guaranteed. Now cut that in half. That's that person is actually going to see. And then you cut that in half because they got to pay all of the people who's in their pocket to help put them in position. And then let's add a baby or two, a lady or two, and everything that comes with that, a bad business deal and all that. Bruh, you got big baby Glenn Davis who's going to jail for fraud. You made $37 million or whatnot over your career in the NBA, and you out here scamming for insurance fraud. It's not what the whole thing that they make it out to be is not really that. And these men children are preyed upon before they understand. Like dude from I think it's New Orleans, but definitely Louisiana. Michael Smith used to be on that ESPN with Jamel Hill.
Not ringing a bell.
But he has a podcast, Brother from Another. He said, if you give a kid from the inner city a Ferrari, you giving it to him knowing that he can't drive stick. What's gonna happen? He's gonna crash. Well, he's gonna do something reckless.
Yeah, he's not gonna be able to drive that much.
I can give you millions of dollars. Get it right back. I'm not worried about that. You're gonna come crying to me when you fuck up because that's the way the system is set up. It's a shame on us because, well, not us, because our generation is the first one that's trying to turn the tide from fathers not being in the homes. Like I said, I was in picking up the food. Girl dads, fathers with their children are in right now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Like I got irritated. I was working out with my sons probably a year ago, and this white woman walks up to us. She's like, "Good job." I was like, what? And she said, "Are you the daddy?" The father. Well, I just stopped to tell you you're doing a great job and you keep it up.
The puzzlement, man, for me. I'm not doing nothing I ain't supposed to be doing.
and bro, I don't try and be one of them people, but racism is alive and well, and that's not what that was. But the fact that you thought you needed to tell me,
disclaimer, that's not what that was. That's not what that was.
But the fact that you needed to tell me that is weird energy. Like it's like if I came up to you while you pumping gas and saying, "Good job," especially as a lady, pumping your own gas. What? I want my car to move. It's my outlet.
I see that too, man. But like, I've heard that negative stigma all my life. Like, I've heard the jokes. Yeah, your daddy left to get some milk, never came back. I've heard all of them.
I joke with my kids. I be like, sometimes I be like, I ain't do it today, but they be like, "Hey, where you going?" Get a pack of cigarettes. And my youngest, he like, "Dad, come on, man, stop."
That's not funny. No, but like you hear that, man, and you hear the negative stigma about black men not being in their kids' lives.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just me and the people I gravitate to, and so on and so forth. Every black man that I know, which is a lot, because I am a black man, that have kids.
Yeah.
Majority of them, a vast majority of them, are in their kids' lives. So I'm at my age. I'm trying to figure out where, like, okay, why is the stigma still being thrown around? Like
similar stigma. This is a touchy one. Similar stigma.
Mm-hmm.
A sister I know well was annoyed that every time she sees a good-looking brother that he's with, not a sister.
I had it.
Yeah, and she got annoyed. I said, I get what you're saying, except for you didn't notice all of the brothers that was with sisters.
Mm-hmm.
You noticed the
The
one
one.
that you saw was with not a sister,
Mm-hmm.
and that stuck out to you like a sore thumb. So you just got hit. Everything else was what you consider status quo.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not gonna do this. Y'all always go. No, we're not doing that, because the truth is, by and large, a lot of us followed that advice. If she can't use your comb, don't bring her home.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's not to say that that is right, but it is reality. In the same sense, with there was a period, and I feel like it was socially engineered by the powers that be, whether you want to say it's government or just a conspiracy theory altogether. But I do feel like it's socially engineered when you destabilize. If you look, man, if you look at the social setting and the makeup of our society,
Right.
we told the man that he's the head, right?
Mm-hmm.
We told the man that he's the earner, but we also had something really happen around the 50s. We had booming black families to where there was like 5 to 6 youth in every home. Well-to-do, gainfully employed mom and dad in the 50s going into the 60s, which launched us being concerned with our civil rights, being concerned with our projection as that man. And what did they do? They slowly worked it into, okay, we're going to give you these programs that help with assistance. As long as there's no man there, we're going to pay,
Facts.
we're going to give the women the jobs, and we're going to turn the men, if not lay them off, we're going to turn them away.
Right.
You've been qualified, not what we're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So then you destabilize that home to where he doesn't know how to articulate himself. He can't find work. She looking at him like, why you ain't got what I need, and we still got all this stuff going on. She's feeling the pressure. So he gets displaced because now
took his power away.
This isn't so in the white community. It's not so in the Asian community. And the crazy thing about the Asian community is, even if the woman is the earner, she still treats the man like the man.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing.
Nah, I've noticed that too.
It's wild. Like,
yeah, like
most of the Eastern, and to a detriment, I would say. I'll honestly say to a detriment in the Eastern cultures, not just with Asia, with some of the Eurasian countries and Middle Eastern, which ain't a real thing, but you know, bro, how you gotta, you know where I'm going.
Yeah.
But you got all these places, and the one thing I say about the West, everywhere that they go, they don't change the song. The song is the same.
Mm-hmm.
You want to look at Vietnam, the women got the jobs. Mm-hmm. You want to look at the Philippines, they gave the women the jobs. Everywhere they go, they destabilize what's considered the man there, and they give the women the jobs. And then that sows division in the homes. It messes up the offspring. They come in and they save or dispatch freedom or whatever it is. And then you got these generations of people who don't have their fathers in their life. Mm. And you get this extreme like we have today that I'm not even going to touch on that, but you can let your imagination wander with everything that we have going on in reality. But yeah, it's a very nuanced time to where whatever you hold as reality, that's what it's going to become, even if it's not true. And we know that to be, like, we went to a like my birthday is in what I said, 8 days. It's also my mother's big sister. We were born on the same day. Before she's we celebrated her 75th last year, and so all the family was there, or as much of the family that could be. And one of my cousins looks at my sons and he says, "Hey guys, what are y'all pronouns?"
Lord.
And my sons went like, "Who the fuck you talking to?"
Yeah.
And he was like, all right, cuz, just checking you out. And at the time, they like 13 and 10. It was like, pronouns, bro. No, we not doing that. for me was an English subject.
Mm.
I'm not understanding certain things. Do what you want to do, but when it imposes on how I have to treating you as a human is not enough. Now I have to relearn whatever.
Nah, that's why I don't. That's why I don't get in. I don't get in all that, man.
But it just goes to like another African saying, "How far now? To what end?" Just simply, how far now?
Mm-hmm.
Where you going with this? Where you go? What's the end game? Ain't no end game.
It's just another tool that's allowed to continue dividing the pie.
That's the whole purpose.
That's all it is.
And while you looking at what Diddy doing with Drake and Kendrick saying, hey, you know who's studying us? It ain't us.
Mm-hmm.
It's never us.
Mm-hmm.
We studying your blood. We studying your culture. We studying your music, your rhythm, your
get you stirred up.
Yeah, we gonna keep you stirred up and pacified at the same time. But
because you're not talking about what's really going on. You never talking about what's really going on.
Nah. People come to me and say, you heard what the baby said?
Yeah,
if you put a gun in my head, I don't know.
And I'm never aware. Everybody, hey, you heard of? Never aware of it. I'm just.
If you ask me about movies, I'm usually up on movies. If you ask me about certain books, I'm usually up on books. Social media, with the people that's around me, I mean, it's like I just found out today what this bleach blonde butch body something. It's something that's going on. But my wife researched it, and it had to do with Marjorie Taylor Greene, the representative. She said something crooked to the representative from here, and they on Capitol Hill or wherever they at, just talking shit to each other in the chamber. Like, you know, you got all these different representatives, and she said, I think your fake eyelashes are skewing your view of this case.
See, I didn't hear nothing about it.
Bruh, I didn't know nothing. I saw memes or people like just posting different stuff for the last couple of days. And one of my boys, he's a lawyer, so he watches that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he said the new tongue twister, which is something about bleach blonde, butch built body. It's all bees, and this is how the sister referred to Marjorie Taylor Greene when she made the comment about her eyelashes, because it was inappropriate. And they always do the thing of like, I'm gonna go low, you need to stay high. But when the sister come down to her level, now you want her to calm down. And you know, you see that in every facet, especially like football and basketball and stuff. You play against an all-white school, and somebody gonna utter that infinite phrase that always touches a nerve with somebody, you know. And that within itself, like I teach my sons, hey, somebody's gonna call you. Don't react to that shit, because that's the whole purpose. Like, my mom told me something. I got in a fight. Like I said, I got in fights from 6th grade to the 10th grade. Pretty much consistent, to a point to where, like, the first couple of fights, I didn't know how to fight. But after a while, I feel like this shouldn't be a fight. I got better just
for a fight.
And I was like, oh, no. Especially when I got a crowd, you losing. I don't care what I got to do. You losing.
Nah, I got a brother that's like that. He will die.
Yeah. So
Make
I'm in the office, and my mom like, they knew they could get a hold of my mom. Why now? What was the thing now? Mama, somebody said you was a crackhead, nigga.
Is it the truth? Like, I'm teaching my child that now. Like, you go with truth. We go with truth. We go with facts. We go with logic.
But like, it was just dishonor and ignorance of the youth. Like, you're not gonna disrespect my mom. So,
but even that's a learned thing, man. That we done picked up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, nah, you know, like, that's something I can say. Like, we heard somebody else say, and we just carried it forward. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I tell my child that all the time, man. I say, stay out of trouble. Like, sometimes you gotta let stuff roll off your shoulder, like my grandma used to say. So, man,
you get stuck in something that didn't have to happen.
Nah, yeah, and a lot of it, I don't know, man. And then, like I said, man, half these kids don't even know how to wash their ass. You want to let them tell you about about how you look and how you this.
Yeah. My son's like, such and such said, he was saying the whole thing. Then he was talking about mom. I was like, okay, because she teaches at the school today, right? And I said, yo, let me ask you a question. You want to learn basketball from one of them? No. Why not? Because most of them I can beat. They don't know that much more than I do. So they all there to do what? They're all there to learn. I say, so you got problems. Take it from me. I know. Each one of them got at least one of me in their life.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ask each one of their parents, they got problems. Keep trying to tell you, stop listening to them kids because they're in the same boat as you.
Mm-hmm.
None of them know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
If they did, they wouldn't be in that boat.
But it's just hard convincing these kids, man.
Because it's like, we grew up on Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. I try to like, hey son, I think you'll like this cartoon, so I put it on for him.
Mm-hmm.
I paid attention for like 4 minutes, and he went in his room and started playing with his toy. I was like, shit, I'm trying to show you something. Fast forward like 2 years later, one of the kids was showing him something on their phone, Dragon Ball Z. He come home, he's like, hey dad, you remember you was trying to show me that old show you used to watch? And one of my friends, he was showing it to me and it looked kind of cool. You think we can watch that? I don't know what you're talking about. I went home by my business. Started playing with my toys.
My child different, man. She got to get past the theatrics, like Jurassic Park. Okay, she's got to get past the little story they try to tell in the beginning of every movie.
Okay.
Like, the first one, she has to get past the whole why are they in the field digging and so on and so forth.
Okay.
She's got to get past that.
Yeah,
she's got it. My child, she starts paying attention when the dinosaurs start breaking out.
Yeah.
Because I messed up. I took her to Universal Studios without covering these movies.
Okay. Yeah,
so she's like, exactly. So she was like, well, what happened to why they telling this story with all these dinosaurs jumping out? Like, why is T-Rex chasing us? Stuff like that. Like, my bad. This is why. But she wants to get past. Okay, yeah, all right, yeah. Let's get to the action. Let's see why this happened. I did, man. I did. Like, I think we gotta watch the last movie we gotta watch. I'm not letting her watch The Simpsons. I cannot. She get too much of whatever on TikTok. But I think I gotta get her to watch Men in Black now.
Not the cartoon, right?
Nah, not the cartoon. The because there's that they got that ride at Universal Studios. So everything else we pretty much done covered. She don't want to like that Fast and the Furious ride they got at Universal Studios is so horrible. She don't even want to watch the movie. She been up. Yeah, nah. But she so Minions, Shrek, we had that covered already. She don't know and don't care who Jimmy Fallon is.
I don't care. That if it wasn't for the Roots, nobody would.
Man, but the Mummy, she knows the Mummy. We watched the Mummy. I'm going through all the parts of my head. E.T., man, she can't get into E.T. I think E.T. scares the shit out of my child. Yeah, it is. But it's dated, man. But the ride, like I tell her, like, look, E.T. came out. Yeah, they still got that ride is still there, and there's a petition, man, out there in the world to where they will never be able to take that ride down. They will never. They done redid Dream, the little kid place, that little section. They redid that whole section. They didn't touch E.T. And then you keep going through the park. You got the Simpsons.
Who's responsible for that? That's Spielberg, right?
Yeah, Spielberg. Okay. He had a lot to do with that. He had a lot to do with that. But the ride, like you get on it. I can talk all day, theme park, whatever. But nah, that's the thing. I be in my own world, man. This is what me and my daughter do. This is what we do. I like all these years later. Now, E.T. came out in what? Okay, E.T. came out in 87, 88.
Yeah.
That ride is still relevant today. Still resonates. Yeah. My mama got on that ride, loved it.
Yeah.
Wife got on that ride, loved it. My daughter got on that ride, loved it. I rode it. I rode the ride multiple times already. I got on it. Like, this is just like I remember it, and you could tell it's dated. Like I was telling Sam, I was explaining to him the ride. I said, man, you can tell that ride is so dated. It's got the old animatronic, got the car coming in, doing this thing, and then you can see it backing up and getting ready, getting the position for the other people to come.
Probably like the movie actually, which Which Jordan? You said animatronic. You touched the hood.
Man, what?
It's embarrassing to tell this story, but you and I had like showbiz teas.
We had when we were little, we had Celebration Station.
Okay, Celebration Station came here when we were, I want to say, 4th, 5th, 6th grade. But before it was Chuck E. Cheese, you had that whole little group. Bruh, I was terrified of that shit. Terrified.
My mom always tell me, "Oh, you wasn't scared of nothing." Yeah.
No, the big purple thing. On
Yeah.
It's like it's funny because you bring that up. My sons was watching something.
But that Five Nights at Freddy.
No. My oldest likes scary stuff. Like I said, your daughter's a month older than him,
and she likes scary stuff.
But he's funny with it because he liked Jeepers Creepers, right?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
My youngest don't play that shit. It's like, that's what nah, I'm going to bed. Like he will tell you, I'm going to bed. I don't want nightmares. So he says, I'm not watching it. So I was I took a nap, I got up, and I hear something playing upstairs. I was like, what are y'all watching? Multiverse of Madness. So y'all ain't tired of watching that? He's like, my youngest goes, I'm playing with Legos. That's him. I say, why are you watching? How many times have you seen it? He said, I had to put something else on. Didn't watch Supernatural anymore. I was like,
Supernatural?
Yeah. He said it's too scary. It was freaking him out. I said, what?
I think I know what episode he's talking about. I think I know what episode he's talking about.
He said, but I said I had to like run back through my Rolodex. I was like, yeah, they had some crazy possessions. They snapped snakes. They slept some.
They got a period of time.
I was like, times have changed.
Yeah. They couldn't
hit him. It was 7, 8. We had Buffy the Vampire wild stuff on.
Yeah. Creep show, man. Like,
I love Creep show.
That was like gruesome, man. You know what scared me the most?
Interesting. One of them, my mama thought something was wrong with me because Freddy Krueger was funny as hell to me.
Yeah, he's still funny.
6 years old.
I ain't gonna lie, the first one scared the crap out of me. Everyone after, I thought he was funny.
And with Creep Show, the dude who got hit by the car, you remember that one?
I think so.
It was Creep Show 2. The lady was drunk. She's driving home on the road by herself.
Is that the Santa Claus? Did she hit Santa Claus?
I don't know if he was in a Santa Claus outfit. I know it was a black dude, and she killed him. But he came right back, and he was like, hey, thanks for the ride, lady.
I remember that.
That shit, that was my shit. That one, the rich white dude in the penthouse with all the roaches, that blob thing in the lagoon.
That's the one that got me.
Freaked me out.
That's the one that fucked me up because I was like, you got to the end. Yeah, they made it. This, that, and that motherfucker jumped out the water. I was like, dog, that scared the fuck out of me because I used to do a lot of fishing.
Swimming pools.
That's why I used to do a lot of fishing, man. That scared the fuck out of me, son. I see something moving in the water, time to go. My tackle box, hey, listen, time to go.
For a second.
Yeah. No, we can cut it here, man. I think we shoot. I got enough for a part 1 and a part 2. For sure. Nah, man, you know you always welcome. But we gonna go ahead and end it here. Appreciate y'all for watching. Make sure y'all like, sharing, and subscribing. Remember, don't be foolish. Be focused. We love y'all, man. Dante got D-Rich got to run. I keep saying this government name. Forgive me, bro. I'm sorry. D-Rich got to run, man. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for coming and just taking the time out to spend with me, rap with me. Nobody asked. Hey, make sure y'all tune into the Nobody Asked podcast, man. D-Rich. You got to type all that in.
Yeah.
You got to type all that in because Spotify be hating on. I'll tell y'all right now.
Facts. While telling me that I'm doing a great job too. That's
exactly, man. I'm telling you, I get mad. Buzzsprout be doing me the same thing, and it's shotgunned everywhere.
I had to put this out there for Sam.
Come on with it.
African bushmeat. That's one area in the Congo Basin. Y'all was talking about the eating rats.
Yeah.
It's one area, bro. Africa is like 5 times bigger than the United States.
Facts.
You got all types of African cuisines that you can eat. We not gonna do that to the homeland.
Yeah, for real. Nah, I think he know. He was just Sam just be throwing the random stuff out there.
As I said, that when I was dating, man, my dating days, I dated a girl that was Nigerian. She lived down the street from Steve Francis.
Okay.
And she said, "I'm a cook." Okay, do your thing. You know. So her and her friends, they get in the kitchen, they start doing everything. The first thing that freaked me out, she's opening a can with a butcher's knife, just like stabbing the top and going around. I was like, that looked dangerous as hell, you know. But
Yeah.
yeah. And, she got a bunch of bad little siblings. They all grown now. But cooked some kind of chicken and some rice and everything. I don't know the name of none of these things. Now I'm familiar with it. But came and served me like I was a king or something, you know. And I'm looking at it like, oh, I ain't eating none of this.
She tried to buzz me. The fix is in.
The chicken was green. The rice was red. Everything was just like.
It's off colored.
It was off color. Yeah, you know, do it. And it's actually she's trying to give me some jollof. She's trying to give me like some curry chicken and everything. I mean, like, the thing that you realize from traveling is there's so much in common with what we do here. Is just different ingredients.
Better ingredients.
Better ingredients. Depending on where you at, yeah. Just another African. I'm big on those. It's like it's interesting philosophy to me sometimes. It's like the man who never travels thinks his mother's cooking. At the time, yeah, I was eating my mom's cooking or I was eating something store bought. When you start getting outside of the States, you'll learn, you know, the West Indies, Central America, South America, Africa, Asia, India. It's something to be desired everywhere but Europe. Well, no. Spain, Italy, yeah.
All right, man. But we're going to leave it right there. We're going to get D-Rich back in the building, man. Absolutely. I had such a good time with you, bro. I appreciate you coming through. Man, look. D-Rich got some big hands, y'all. You know, they say y'all got bear claws, too, but I don't know.
I mean,
they
football players.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, like they, yeah. But anyway, man, appreciate that. I appreciate that, bro. I really do. You keep me awake when I'm taking them long rides to Louisiana.
I can't listen to y'all at work no more.
Oh, dang. Well, we appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you, man. I told y'all when I brought Dante, look, D-Rich on. I keep saying you up, man. Forgive me. Told y'all when y'all brought D-Rich on here, he was going to educate y'all. I call him a professor for a reason.
Man, I ain't
Dude needs to have a class. I'm telling you.
Everybody said you need a podcast. Which I now understand, like, there's people saying, you talk a lot, or you know too much. And I'm like, people be like, man, you got a lot of information. I feel like I don't know enough. Like, people be saying, you smart, or I feel stupid. He ain't telling y'all about the shit he was just teaching me before we started. Like, he put me on that stuff. I just know this and that. I tell you, I'll be the first person to tell you, I'm half jock, half with the school stuff.
Nah, but we gonna get them right. We gonna all be right. We all in this together. That's how I feel. I'm speaking for myself. But we gonna get it right. We gonna get it right. But we're just gonna go ahead and get out of here. We running over.
Ooh.
I'm trying to, yeah.
See, I brought you in.
Yeah.
I'm 2 hours.
Nah, it's gonna chop it up. But we holla at y'all, man. We out.